The following segments are pre-recorded and sponsored by Longworth Productions.
United Fund of Surrey on Triad Today. Well, I'm Jim Longworth, and welcome to another edition of Triad Today, but it's a special edition because we're going to, over the next half hour, focus on and salute United Fund of Surrey County. We start out doing that with a good friend of mine, and she brought two special guests with her. Melissa Hyatt is Executive Director of United Fund of Surrey, and next to her, Darren Lewis, the campaign chairman for United Fund. He's also Assistant City Manager of the City of Mount Airy, and John Johnzak is a board member as well. He's also a co-owner with his wife of the barn at Heritage Farm. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you.
Well,
Melissa, I'm going to start with you. Just bring us up to speed. What's the mission of United Fund of Surrey?
the mission of the United Fund of Surrey is to strengthen and serve our community by meeting the needs of our neighbors.
Now, what kind of area do you, who all do you really serve, and what kind of area is it?
There are 72,000 citizens in Surrey County, and any of those citizens are eligible for services from the 26 member agencies that we serve.
Yeah, we're going to see how varied those services and agencies are as we go through the half hour. We have some great segments and agencies to talk about. John, let me come to you. Before I ask you a question about United Fund, let's just give a quick plug for the barn at Heritage Farm that you and your wife started. When was that started, and what is it?
Sure. The barn at Heritage Farm was started we started construction in 2015 and finished in 2016. It's on Centennial Family Farm, so it's over 100 years old.
Right.
And we do everything from weddings, events, fundraisers, just anything that brings people together. We try our best to accommodate them.
All right. Now, John, while we've got you there, why did you want to get involved with United Fund of Surrey?
Sure. So as small business owners, my wife, who's a native of Surrey County, and I knew that this area is where we wanted to raise our family, wanted to support our community, and grow our business. And I felt as though by joining the United Fund of Surrey, it provided me with the best opportunity to help make sure I could reach those individuals in our community and make it a better place for my children. Absolutely, and I'm so glad that you have gotten involved. And speaking of getting involved, these agencies have to be supported. United Fund has to be supported, Darren, so I'm going to turn to you. Where do the dollars come from that help you guys support these agencies that we're going to meet throughout the program?
The United Fund supports 26 agencies throughout Surrey County. Donations come from individual donors, business donors, workforce campaigns, which is our most sustainable fundraising effort throughout, where we work with individual companies and we do payroll deductions. The individuals can give as little as $1 per week throughout the year to help with the United Fund campaign.
Yeah, you know, when I was growing up, it was always about giving through the workplace, but I'm glad you mentioned individual, because then we're going to put some information up on screen in a minute about where people can, make a donation. But anybody can donate, right?
Yes, sir. Anyone, by all means, we don't discriminate in anyone that's willing to donate. Another big fundraising efforts that we do is special events throughout the year. We have a 5K race, a golf tournament, an adult Easter egg hunt. This year we had an amazing event, was a Bourbon Bonanza, which was one of our more successful fundraising events throughout the year. So we look for many different ways to raise our funds.
An adult Easter egg hunt. I missed that, but I'm going to have to check into that next time. That sounds like fun. Hey, what's the goal for the current campaign?
This year's campaign is $500,000.
Okay. And of course, it's never too late. And Melissa and I were talking off camera about this. It's never too late to donate, because it can always go into the next campaign. Melissa, why is it important for everybody to get behind and support United Fund, even if, say, their family has never used any services, has never called on an agency, has never been in crisis, has never needed an emergency crew? Why should they all support United Fund?
I think it's important because we do strengthen and serve the community. If you want a healthy community, you have to have healthy neighbors, healthy family, healthy education system. We provide those services that government agencies don't provide, that fill in the gap for our citizens so that they can get their kids to school, so that they can reach those medical appointments, or that they can have healthy employees to run their businesses.
Well, up on screen, before we run out of time, I want to put this up here, and we're going to do this throughout the program. www.unitedfundofsurrey.org. Please check that out, because it gives you lots of good information about the agencies, some of whom you're going to see throughout this program, and also ways that you can donate. Melissa, I want to thank you for pulling all this together and helping us on this particular show. And to Darren and John, thanks for all your support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this.
No matter the challenges, we were there.
Whatever the struggles, we were there.
And as the sun comes out, bringing the promise of a brighter tomorrow, we will still be here.
We're Duke Energy, and we're building a smarter energy future for you.
Need help buying food? Everyone needs help sometimes. Food Nutrition Services may be able to help you buy food and free up your money for other expenses, such as utilities and medicine. To receive F&S assistance, households must meet income limits. You may be able to get assistance even if you own a home, car, land, property, or have a retirement plan or money in the bank. Second Harvest Food Bank of Northwest North Carolina team members can help you with the application process over the phone. To receive help or if you have any questions, call 336-422-7758.
Back now on our special salute to United Fund of Surrey County and all the great work they're doing. And we speak with another group of folks who represent an important agency, a very serious topic of domestic violence. We do that with two very special guests. Connie Brown and Sheila Myers are both, as we call, and you'll learn, are advocates for Surrey Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Program. We're so glad both of you could be here today.
Thank you.
Connie, let me start with you. How prevalent and how common is domestic violence in the area? Do you have, I don't want to put you on the spot, maybe an exact statistic, but is it pretty common, unfortunately, or what?
Unfortunately, it is pretty common. It's very prevalent in Surrey County. We meet with victims of domestic violence on a daily basis. On a monthly basis, they're serving approximately 55 new clients a
Good
month.
Lord.
That
I didn't realize. How would you describe your overall mission of your agency?
Our overall mission is to protect and provide safety for victims of domestic violence in Surrey County. And we do that by providing them with emergency transportation, court accompaniment, helping them meet any medical needs that they might have as the result of being a victim of crime.
Right.
And domestic violence is a crime.
It is. And you're sort of, I think it's appropriate that the two of you are sort of referred to as advocates, because what you're describing and how you help people, you really are advocates. And that brings me to something I wanted to ask Sheila. What is the role of an advocate in your agency? Help me understand.
Well, we are there to help them when they come in. And that role can have various different things connected to it. Our biggest role is to help them obtain restraining orders through the court.
So you're even helping them with legal matters, in a sense, trying to get things straight in a crisis like that.
In a sense, I suppose, we help them complete documents that they would then take to court to see if they can obtain restraining orders to help keep their abusers away.
Right. Now, some people, I guess, are reticent to come get help, are they? And even in a crisis, how do you deal with that?
That's exactly right. They are in fear. They feel like they have nowhere to turn. And so part of being an advocate is to give them some confidence and let them know that we are there to help them and support them and to guide them through the process of either obtaining restraining orders or finding safe places to live long term.
Now, I don't know about a lot of the things that you're talking about. It's a little bit over my head. You're talking about some of these restraining orders and things, but you do need volunteers in the agency, right? So
we definitely do.
If I want to volunteer, what kind of expertise do I need if I just want to help people? So help me understand, what would somebody volunteer for?
Oh, they can volunteer in various ways. We often need people to we need volunteers to talk to people when they come in the door, just to get information. We have intake packets that have to be filled out so they can get basic information from them.
Right.
Sometimes we have to transport people to different places to live or to stay.
Right. All sorts of assistance and
yes.
a comforting voice at the same time. Connie, before we lose time here, what's gratifying to you? I know this is a sad thing that we're talking about and serious, but in a few seconds, sum up for me what it means to you to try to help people.
Well, it means that I'm able to provide a service for someone in their darkest hour and in a time when they feel like they have had no help from anyone, that they've been living in this situation for as long as they have, and they have finally found someone that can be their voice in a court system and within other agencies.
I'm so glad that you guys are doing what you do. I'm so proud of you and doing the work that you're doing. Up on screen, there's a 24-hour hotline that you can call for Surrey domestic violence, 356-2014. And the general information for United Fund of Surrey is up on screen as well, unitedfundofsurrey.org. Connie and Sheila, I know this is a difficult thing we talked about, but I do appreciate all you're doing for so many people. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this.
You know, it's hard to believe the Safe Sober program has been going strong for over 30 years.
And over 600,000 students have made the pledge to stay safe and sober on prom night. You know, Griff, it's had a huge impact on our community.
Yeah, you're right, David. And now we're making sure the message continues year-round.
So everyone can join us in supporting our students.
Learn more and take the pledge at safesober.com, sponsored by Daggett Schuler.
Let GTCC help you take your next career step. Guilford Technical Community College. Make amazing happen.
Baby, watch me fly. Baby, watch me soar. Baby, watch me fly. I will open up the sky.
Fly local, fly easy, fly PTI.
Back now in this special edition of Triad Today, as we salute United Fund of Surrey and the agencies that it supports. And one of those agencies is the Shepherd's House and Helping Hands Foundation. And we have two very special guests to tell us all about that. Next to me is Janet Elliott. She's Executive Director of Shepherd's House and the Helping Hands Foundation. And her special guest is Aaron Holt. He's a board chairman, which is pretty important. And when he's not doing that, he's also, during the day, he's the HR Director for Davidson Hospice, which is very important work. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you.
Janet, let me start with you. How serious is the homeless problem in our area, would you say?
In our area, it is very serious. What we are encountering is rural homelessness is on the rise. Homelessness in the rural county, which has really been something that has not been recognized in the past, I think, and it still has quite a stigma that's attached to it. In many rural communities, folks that are homeless are not making it known that they're homeless. They're living in their cars. They may be living in the wooded areas, just trying to stay out of sight so that they're not run out of places. But we actually have just at the Shepherd's House moved into our new shelter. We moved from an 18-bed capacity to a 64-bed capacity in response to just the need for capacity building that we had in our area. We had so many folks that we were turning away over the years that needed housing, that needed help. And again, in a rural market area where housing is at a premium and there just really is a lack of affordable housing in our market area, we've seen the need increase even more so during an environment where inflation is causing families to have a serious cost burden.
Other services, programs, things that you provide to people? I know you've talked about expanding the facility. Anything else you want to mention that you do for folks in need?
Well, the shelter is, of course, our big thing that we do, providing them with care, resources, case management, in terms of connecting them with service providers to treat mental health issues, to treat addiction issues that they may have. We're also working in partnership with Surrey Community College and providing educational opportunities for our clients. So if a client doesn't have their GED or they need pathway to citizenship classes, English as a second language, workforce
That's just great because
development.
you're helping them get
so
back on their way.
things. Absolutely.
Yeah. Aaron, how is Shepherd's House funded?
So we primarily have two funding sources for the Shepherd's House, and two of those are grants and private donations. We make up of about $600,000 in our annual budget for the Shepherd's House, and with the great support of community and Surrey United Fund, that's where we get most of our support from.
Yeah, so that support from United Fund of Surrey really helps your mission, doesn't it?
Most definitely, yes.
Now, is there anything that folks in the community, Aaron, can folks do to help you guys in helping other people, individuals? A lot of times people say, well, what can I do as one individual?
Right. Well, we're always looking for support financially. One of our new board goals and kind of not mission statements, but interest is time, talent, and service. So for the community, you can give your time in volunteer ways, and that would be a great help and support to Jana and the staff.
What can I do? I mean, just picking up on what Aaron said, what's something I could do if I volunteer?
So we are 24/7 staff, 365, all that good stuff.
Right.
And we are constantly looking for folks that may help our staff in support of the things that they're doing. We need transportation volunteers to take clients to appointments. If you wanted to work a shift and man our desk, as a receptionist or a greeter for folks that are coming in, answering phone calls for potential clients, we can do a whole training series with you if you want to volunteer.
Lots of great stuff you can do.
Tons of stuff.
Oh, that's super. All right, so if you want to volunteer, if you want to make a donation, learn more about what's going on, you can go to shepherdshousema.org, and you can also call 336-786-1420. And as we promised throughout this special program, we'll put up this website for United Fund of Surrey. It is, of course, unitedfundofsurrey.org. Jana and Aaron, thanks for all you do. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back after this.
What are you waiting for? Your future awaits at Guilford Technical Community College. Make amazing happen.
Are you looking to jumpstart your future in the fast-paced, rapidly growing food industry? In Second Harvest Food Bank's Providence Culinary Training Program, you'll learn the craft and art of cooking, plus business and management skills, science and nutrition, and essential life skills. Providence Culinary Training has helped hundreds of individuals just like you launch successful culinary careers. There's no reason to wait to turn your passion for food into an exciting career. Check out the upcoming class schedule on our website at providencews.org.
Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you to catch my column Longworth at Large and Yes Weekly every week. It's available throughout the Triad, or you can go online, yesweekly.com. Back down on this special edition of Triad Today as we salute the good work of United Fund of Surrey and the agencies that they support. And one of those agencies is the Parenting Path. And we have two special guests to talk about their mission, and it's an important one. With me right now is Shari Hall. She's Parent Support Specialist for the Parenting Path. And Joe Rick, who was on the program a long time ago in another capacity. We're glad to have him back. He's a Chief Experience Officer. Thanks both of you being here.
Thanks for having us.
Joe, first of all, somebody sees on screen when y'all's title and it says the Parenting Path. What do you mean PATH? What does that stand for?
PATH stands for Positive Actions Thriving Homes. We used to be called SCAN, which stood for Stop Child Abuse Now, and many families didn't see themselves in that title because that was child abuse.
Yeah, sorry, I think, of course, Joe and I just stole some of your thunder, but when you're talking about child abuse and stopping it, just explain very briefly, what's the mission of the Parenting Path in general?
The mission is, to hopefully prevent and help stop the, neglect or abuse of children, basically through education.
I know this is going to sound like a stupid question, but is there a lot of that going on in Surrey? Joe's shaking his head yes.
Yeah, child abuse and neglect is pretty prevalent. Last year, the data states it's 1 in 7 children experience child abuse and neglect. That's 35 times higher than a child having childhood cancer or even childhood diabetes.
My Lord.
Right?
That's just unbelievable and sad.
Yeah.
Shari, is there, what kind of services can you provide as the agency when you've identified child abuse of some point. Walk me through it a little bit. What can you do?
Sure. So we serve the family unit as a whole through parent interventions, helping them to improve their communication skills, establishing routines, maybe even establishing a reward system, and it's all done in the home.
Right. You know, and our parents reticent to receive the services? Are they glad you're there for them? I mean, what goes through their mind, do you think?
Sometimes they can be a little reticent in the beginning, but usually once they realize, that, we're not there in any capacity to take anything away from them, we're trying to help them and just help them be successful, then they usually end up being very glad and really want you to stay longer than what we really do.
Right. Now, on the other, sort of the flip side of this, do you, and I could have this wrong, do you sort of help folks when there's a crisis, when there's child abuse, do you sort of help with the court system too? We
have some youth that are involved in the juvenile justice system that we work with through one of our programs, and then sometimes DSS can also refer or through the court system as well.
Right. Joe, what are some of the challenges that you and Shari and the agency faces going forward?
Yeah, there's a couple. So the needs of our families in Surrey County and all the counties that we serve is just growing. It's just more and more, it's compounded with many different issues. And with that comes a need to provide more services. So funding ends up being a challenge for many nonprofits.
Right.
And I think in Surrey County, one of my goals that also is kind of bouncing off of challenges to figure out how us agency partners and community members that support families could really grow and utilize the funding and be smarter with how we can collaborate and really serve the families with the greatest need at the greatest amount of service.
How do you, we didn't rehearse this or anything very quickly, I mean, how do you identify that there's a problem? Is something reported to you or what?
Yeah, many families are reported. We do have a handful that are self-reported, but DSS, Department of Social Services, Department of Juvenile Justice will identify families.
And funding from United Fund of Surrey, important, right?
Oh my Lord, yes. So not only is it a financial support for us, but being a part of United Fund of Surrey, it's a team. I can lean on any of them and have any questions answered at any time.
Absolutely. Up on screen, parentingpath.org is the website. You can also call 414-7555. That information is on screen. And as promised, we one more time put up unitedfundofsurrey.org as a general website for that. Shari and Joe, thanks for all you do.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this. Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you that Triad Today is now streaming on WFMY Plus, available free on Roku and Amazon Fire TV.
Every cookie sold in the Girl Scout Cookie Program helps girls learn lifelong lessons in people skills, decision making, money management, goal setting, and business ethics. It's amazing how much you can learn from a cookie. The Girl Scout Cookie Program. Think outside the box.
Back now on Triad Today, this special edition as we salute United Fund of Surrey and the agencies that it supports. And as we wrap up the show, we turn to a very important agency, one that gets a lot of visibility, and that is, of course, the Rescue Squad. With me now is Nathan Webb. He's the chief of Mount Airy Rescue Squad, and his guest is Corey Scarce, assistant chief. Welcome, guys. Thanks for being here.
Glad to be here.
Nathan, let me start with you. I think I know this, but just tell me anyway. What's the mission of the squad?
So our mission is to provide the best care for the sick and injured within the city limits and outlying communities of Mount Airy. And this includes medical care as well as rescue care. And rescue is our primary function, whether it be cutting someone out of a car or someone that is in a confined space that is injured or someone that needs ropes to get them down from wherever they are. Those are the things that we do to try to get that patient stabilized so we can get them to EMS and to a hospital.
And you're covering a pretty big area too.
Yes, sir. We have a 177 square mile district, so Mount Airy and all the outlying communities. We tell everybody it's every road that goes to Virginia from Mount Airy is our district.
Right. Hey, Corey, there's still a nationwide shortage of EMS folks. Am I assuming that's kind of the same in Surrey?
Absolutely. Our roster and our personnel is down significantly from when it was, years ago. We can't get people to do the job anymore. Nobody wants to volunteer and give their time to help the community. They have other obligations.
Would these be paid positions or just volunteer positions or what?
These are volunteer positions with our agency.
Right. Why do you think the volunteers are so important? Let me ask you one. We didn't rehearse this or anything, but let's say I'm not good at doing the kind of things you guys do, but I do want to volunteer. I do want to help. Is there room for me to volunteer?
Oh, absolutely. We have an auxiliary department that's under the umbrella of our rescue squad, and the auxiliary just provides support functions. They help us fundraise, they help with community events. They just literally to support the members and the rescue mission.
Now, we might have already covered part of what I'm going to ask you about, Nathan, but what are some of the challenges that the rescue squad faces these days?
Well, like Corey said, our primary challenge right now is volunteers. We're a 100% volunteer agency. None of us get paid, and you can't hardly pay people to work right now, much less get them to do it for free.
Right.
But secondary to that would be funding, for sure. We are a non-tax-based service, so we receive a special appropriation from the County of Surrey, from the United Fund, the City of Mount Airy, and then we rely on donations for the rest of our funding.
Yeah, United Fund of Surrey that contributes to it really helps to sustain your mission, doesn't it?
Absolutely. They were actually the only agency that we didn't see a cut from during the COVID pandemic. They kept us funded at 100% of what we received the previous years, so that was really a blessing and helped us out a lot.
Since volunteerism is the key for a lot of this in terms of helping people, rescuing people, I mean, this is important stuff, and it breaks my heart to hear that people don't want to volunteer to do this. I think there are some out there that do. So before time gets away from us, I want each of you to respond to this. Why do you like to do what you like to do?
Well, it's the old adage, and it sounds cliche, but helping people. That's why I think everybody gets into this field in some way or another, is we just love to help people. And it's a hobby too. We're interested in the things that we do and the way we get to do things and the training we get to do and the things we get to see, the people we get to meet. It just really is, a passion.
Was there somebody, a friend or a family member that had done this before? What got you into it?
Yes, my father worked in EMS for over 30 years, so I was exposed to it my whole entire life. And, I got to see how he helped people and how he made a difference in the lives of people at the most, crucial moment. And I just love doing that. I just love, making that difference in people's lives and being that positive impact.
Well, bless your hearts, both of you. I think that's important to hear your story because maybe that'll motivate somebody to want to help. Up on screen, Mount Airy Rescue. Go to mountairyrescue.com is the website. It's up on screen. And also, as we wrap up this program, to thank Melissa Hyatt for all her help in pulling all these agencies together so they can come and tell their stories. UnitedFundOfSurrey.org is their website. And we'll have some more agencies that we'll spotlight for you throughout the year, so stay tuned for that. We'll be back next week with another episode of Triad Today. I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you then.